What's good, everybody? I'm still on the ground. I'm watching when Michael Jordan was a point guard. I'm guessing that Michael Jordan in this video is like the playmaker and everything. Let's get straight to it, brother.
A
Lego.
lot of impressive things that MJ has
Lego.
accomplished throughout his career. But one of the things that I personally think was the most impressive was something that a lot of basketball
Bro, you know when you know what side when you're gonna get some prison ass defense, bro, go get like clamped, bro. If somebody, hold on.
there are things that I personally think was the
If somebody like tucks his shorts up like that, bro, and he's staring at you at the eyes and watching where your eyes are moving so that he could track where your movement's gonna be, bro, you're in some big trouble. You either gonna be Kyrie Irving or Michael Jordan like this clip right here and cross him over and like do some great stuff, or you're either gonna get clamped and get people laughing at you. So good luck, brother.
most impressive was something that a lot of basketball fans
Told you.
don't even know.
You either crossing them or you're out of there.
Said, no matter how many times you hear the name Michael Jordan, you know it's warranted simply because he's the greatest of all time. Kind of like the greatest game of all time, Raid Shadow Legends. Raid's got
Get out of here, bro.
Things got the king stronger than
Respect
ever.
to you getting that bag,
Precision
bro.
aiming. This month is everything we hope when he used catch-up and controlling the offense as if they're the team's point. What this translates to is simply higher production and higher averages across the board. Typically, when a player is appointed as a point guard or as the team's floor general, his usage rate increases as he naturally becomes a more ball-dominant player.
Yep.
This is one of the main reasons why players like James Harden had their assist numbers dramatically increase after being moved to the point guard position.
But like, you know what, bro? I noticed something about the basketball in general. Like nowadays, like I feel like the job of a point guard is to be a shooter nowadays more than to be the playmaker, the guy that generates the game. Because you look at guys like Giannis, you look at guys like LeBron James. You don't feel like they fit into that point guard category, but still they got the ball like majority of the time when they're playing, when their teams are playing. You feel me? Like you got LeBron at the Lakers. Whenever LeBron's at the court, he running the plays, he running everything, but he's not a point guard. You feel me? Giannis the same thing. He running coast to coast. Yeah, he's not the point guard. In fact, he's kind of like the center. You feel me?
It wasn't that he all of a sudden became a great passer, but instead, it was the fact that the offense was now ran through him, which naturally boosted his numbers. As great and as record-shattering as Jordan's numbers were, for the most part, he never had this luxury working in his favor and boosting his numbers, like many other greats have. Well, that is, with a small exception of the final quarter of the 1988-89 season. At the time,
Let's
the
go.
Bulls had a 34-24 record and were looking to move up in the standings. The Bulls head coach Doug Hollins noticed how Jordan had been having
I've seen The Last Dance when this guy was the coach, and I remember the time where he shot that game-winning shot on Cleveland. What was the guy name? Olio, something like that, bro. But that's the only time I remember like Jordan being. I mean, I remember. It's not like I remember, but I know this version of Jordan is against the Cleveland, that game-winning shot where he made the iconic celebration.
impact in numerous ways on the court, as he was putting up his best all-around numbers of his young career. This is when Collins decided to make a significant change that was pretty uncommon during that era. Collins moved the 6'6"
Yeesh, look at that jelly, bro.
guard position to the point guard spot as a way to pick up the tempo of the offense and allow
Bro was
Jordan to have more
unguardable.
control
You
over
jump
the game.
high, he gon' jelly it. You jump low, he gon' dunk on
Most
you.
dominant individual
You
stretches
figured it
in
out.
NBA history. On the very first game against the Seattle Supersonics, Jordan firmly established himself as a distributor as he handed out a remarkable 15 assists. The very next game against the Indiana Pacers, Jordan had 21 points, 14 assists, and 14 rebounds in only 30 minutes of playing time due to a 32-point beatdown. He would have had a realistic shot at the historic 20-20-20 game if he had played his regular workload of minutes. Jordan remained at the point guard position for the final 24 games of the season, and in those games, he averaged 30.4 points, 9.2 rebounds, 10.7 assists, and 2.5 steals on 49.
Hall of Fame consistent finisher, yo.
To go along with this ridiculous near triple-double average, Jordan had a streak of 7 straight triple-doubles and 10 triple-doubles in 11 games. In the game that Jordan didn't get a triple-double, he poured in 40 points, 11 assists, and 7 rebounds on 61.1% shooting. On another night, in a 15-point victory against the Blazers, Jordan dropped 34 points, 17 assists, 7 rebounds, and 6 steals on 50% shooting. Those 17 assists were his career high. This game against Portland was also the beginning of an incredible streak that I rarely hear anyone mention. Over a 12-game stretch, Jordan had at least 10 assists in every single contest.
You know what this brings the narrative to what? When people say LeBron was a better passer than LeBron James, what? And when LeBron is a better passer than Michael Jordan? I'm not saying he's not. I'm not saying he is. I'm just opening this topic up, opening up this conversation. When you see the ways that both LeBron and Michael Jordan, the way they were rolled into the teams, you see how different they were. You cannot compare their passing, because LeBron, as I said in the beginning, he runs all the plays when we got to play like Jordan. And when you see in this video when he said when he had the point guard role, MJ, he said 12 straight games or whatever, he had more than 10 assists and 10 rebounds, and he was scoring at the same time. So you feel me?
Put in perspective just how incredible that 12-game streak is, consider the fact that all-time great distributors and stat stuffers like Oscar Robertson, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, and Jason Kidd have never had a streak longer than MJ's of games with at least 10 assists. To put it simply, Michael Jordan wasn't just great at the point guard position, but he appeared to be playing like he was the greatest point guard of all time. This was...
You feel me right now? You feel me? You feel what I'm saying?
Just one end of the court, though. Despite spending so much energy on offense as a point guard, Jordan still had the responsibility of locking down opposing perimeter players, and unlike players who use their offensive load as an excuse for their lack of defensive intensity, Jordan still brought it on the defensive end every single night. Not only was Jordan 3rd overall in steals per game, but he also finished that season on the NBA's first team all-defense. He was 5th overall in defensive win shares, 1st overall in defensive plus-minus, and finished that season in the 5th spot for the NBA's Defensive Player of the Year. Jordan and the Bulls made it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, where they were eliminated in 6 games.
The footwork, bro. The footwork.
Bad boy Detroit Pistons. After yet another defeat at the hand of Detroit, Chicago's management decided that it was time to shake things up and fired Doug Collins from his head coaching position. He was replaced with the legendary Phil Jackson, and thus the triangle offense was implemented, and Jordan's days as a point guard were now behind him. Jordan's numbers at the point were utterly insane, but let's be honest, his numbers earlier that season, before he switched positions, were pretty nuts too. The major what-if question that this video raises is, what if Jordan had remained at the point guard position throughout his career?
Wouldn't change nothing. He still would have been great. The only thing that might have increased or might have been a difference is his assists. His assist percentage. That's the only thing.
How would that have affected his career numbers? Well, at the very least, we can make an educated guess based on how Jordan's numbers adjusted during the 1989 season. You'll see that from his 57 games as the shooting guard to his 24 games as the point guard, his scoring decreased by about 9%. His rebounding increased by around 17%, and his assists dramatically increased by a whopping 35%. So now, if we take those same percentages and apply them to Jordan's career numbers, we're now looking at averages of 27.4 points, 7.3 rebounds, and 7.2 assists per game. What I can't help but notice is how Jordan's career numbers as a point guard are strikingly similar to another all-time great who consistently ran his offense like a quarterback,
LeBron?
and that is LeBron James. With MJ's adjusted averages, their career numbers are now nearly identical to one another. Obviously,
Still, MJ got more
over time,
scoring.
This change in play style could have affected other aspects of Jordan's game, like an increase in turnovers, potentially more injuries due to his increased workload, and maybe he even wins
Oy,
look
look at that pass. Look at that pass.
less championships
Look
as
at that
a
swagger,
point
bro.
guard, rather than playing within the system of
Hold
the
on, bro. I want to see it one more
offense.
time.
It's chips as a injuries due to his increased workload, and maybe he even wins less championships as a point guard rather than playing within the system of the triangle offense. It's
Yeah.
impossible to say for sure, but at the very least, this perfectly summarizes how a player's perception, production, and impact can dramatically change with a simple switch of a position.
Yep.
So what do you guys think? If Jordan had remained at the point guard position, how would it have ultimately affected his career? Would we have been referring to him or Magic Johnson as the greatest point guard of all time? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section.
I can answer that one. All that I could say is he's gonna have like a crazy amount of assists. That's all that I could say. His scoring might have decreased, yeah, but will the championship decrease? Nah, because at the same time we could see that Jordan got like he was a defensive all-time player at that season, which shows that he was still like had that dog mentality that was saying like, no, I want to win that match. You feel me? So yeah, as I said, bro. To anybody that says, hey, bro, come on, stop with bro, you say Michael Jordan's the GOAT every time. Because he is, bro. Michael Jordan's not even my favorite player. I respect him. I love Michael Jordan. I give a spade. But my favorite player, bro, if I say, bro, you're going to be surprised. But I'm going to keep that in the next video. See y'all, bro.